Every morning, your body is supposed to wake up with natural energy, strong circulation, and a feeling of readiness. But if lately your mornings feel sluggish, your body feels slow, or your morning power just isn't what it used to be, then listen closely, because what you do before breakfast can dramatically change how your body performs through the entire day. Your body runs on a beautiful balance of hormones, nerve signaling, blood flow, hydration, and sleep rhythm. When any of these are disrupted, whether due to stress, poor diet, dehydration, or inflammation, your morning power begins to fade. But the good news is this: your body can bounce back faster than you think if you give it exactly what it needs within the first 10 minutes of your day. The simple habit I'm about to share can improve circulation, reduce inflammation, activate your pelvic nerves, support your kidneys, and help restore your natural morning vitality. It doesn't require supplements, medications, or complicated routines. This is something your body is designed for, and when you do it correctly, the results can begin surprisingly quickly. So what is it? Before breakfast, start your day with deep hydration plus a 2-minute pelvic diaphragm activation routine. This resets circulation to the lower body, increases nitric oxide levels, boosts morning blood flow, and wakes up the pelvic floor muscles that support sexual health, bladder function, and hormonal balance. Begin by drinking a full glass of warm water mixed with just a squeeze of lemon or a pinch of Himalayan salt. This instantly wakes up kidney filtration, rehydrates tissues that became dehydrated overnight, and jumpstarts blood flow. When your tissues hydrate, your nerves communicate better, and your blood vessels respond more effectively, all crucial elements for morning strength and sexual vitality. Right after hydrating, perform a slow, controlled pelvic diaphragm breathing sequence. Breathe in deeply, let your lower abdomen expand, and gently relax your pelvic muscles. Then exhale slowly while lightly engaging the pelvic floor, not tight, not forced, just awake. Repeat this for 2 minutes. This simple action increases oxygen delivery, reduces stiffness, and stimulates the nerves that control erections, bladder support, and pelvic function. This combination of warm hydration of pelvic activation signals your body to increase nitric oxide production, improve circulation to the lower pelvis, enhance hormonal wakefulness, and restore the natural responsiveness that many men begin to lose with age, stress, or sedentary habits. You don't need expensive tests, you don't need complicated workouts, and you don't need medications to start improving your morning energy. You just need consistency, awareness, and a willingness to take control of your health. Do this every morning before breakfast. Give your body a chance to reset, and watch how slowly and sometimes shockingly quickly your morning power begins to return. Your body is capable of more than you realize. You just have to give it the right start every single day. When you wake up in the morning, your body is coming out of a long fasting period where every system has slowed down to support rest, recovery, and healing. During the night, you lose water through breathing, sweating, and simple metabolic activity, even if you don't feel it. This means by the time you open your eyes, your body is already mildly dehydrated. That mild dehydration may not feel dramatic, but it has powerful effects deep inside your cells, especially in your kidneys, your blood vessels, and the delicate tissues responsible for circulation and hormonal signaling. That's why the very first thing you do in the morning can either restore strength to your system or weaken it even more. Starting your day with warm hydration is not just a casual wellness tip, it is a physiological necessity that influences everything from energy levels to morning power. When you drink warm water right after waking up, the temperature gently stimulates your digestive system and circulatory pathways. Warm water moves through the body faster, helping to open blood vessels and relax internal muscles. As soon as this warm hydration reaches your kidneys, they begin to filter more efficiently, removing waste and balancing electrolytes that affect every nerve and muscle in your pelvic region. If you ignore this step and go straight into the day dehydrated, your blood becomes slightly thicker, making circulation sluggish, and poor circulation is one of the biggest reasons men notice a drop in morning strength, sexual function, mental clarity, and energy throughout the day. Adding a squeeze of lemon or a pinch of Himalayan salt creates an even more powerful effect. Lemon introduces vitamin C and natural antioxidants that reduce inflammation, which is often hidden inside the pelvic tissues. Inflammation tightens blood vessels, limits nitric oxide production, and slows down the nerves that control erections and morning vitality. Warm lemon water helps reduce this internal stress, supporting stronger, more responsive blood flow. On the other hand, a pinch of Himalayan salt helps replenish trace minerals that your body loses during the night. These minerals, especially magnesium and potassium, support nerve function, hydration inside the cells, and muscle responsiveness. When your pelvic tissues and nerves receive this hydration and mineral support, they begin functioning at a far more optimal level. The process may feel simple, yet the internal benefits are profound. With this early hydration, your blood vessels soften, become more flexible, and allow better blood flow. Your kidneys begin operating smoothly, balancing hormones that indirectly support sexual health. Your pelvic nerves, which depend heavily on fluid balance, start sending clearer signals. All of this together lays the foundation for natural morning power. Many men underestimate how much hydration influences sexual performance, stamina, and morning responsiveness, but scientific research consistently shows that hydrated tissues respond faster, stronger, and more efficiently than dehydrated ones. By choosing to hydrate deeply before breakfast, you're giving your body the resources it needs to perform the way nature intended. After giving your body warm hydration, the next essential step before breakfast is activating the pelvic-diaphragm connection through slow, controlled breathing. This is a part of your body most people never think about, yet it influences nearly every system tied to morning power, energy levels, bladder control, and sexual function. The pelvic floor is a group of muscles sitting at the base of your pelvis, and the diaphragm is your main breathing muscle. These two areas are directly connected through pressure changes, nerve pathways, and circulation patterns. When you breathe incorrectly, shallow, tight, or rushed, the pelvic floor becomes tense, weak, or unresponsive. This leads to poor blood flow, reduced nerve sensitivity, and stiffness that can seriously affect your morning strength. That is why a 2-minute pelvic diaphragm activation routine can have such a dramatic effect on your body's performance. When you inhale deeply, allowing your lower abdomen to expand, the diaphragm moves downward. This gentle downward motion creates space within your torso and simultaneously allows the pelvic floor to relax. Most men never fully relax their pelvic floor because they carry stress, tension, or sitting pressure throughout the day. This constant tightness restricts circulation to the lower pelvis, making the tissues less responsive in the morning. But with deep breathing, you teach the pelvic floor to release, soften, and improve blood flow naturally. As you exhale, the diaphragm rises and you lightly engage the pelvic floor, not forcefully, not aggressively, but with controlled awareness. This combination of relaxation and gentle activation is what resets the nerves and muscles that support erectile function, bladder strength, and pelvic stability. Many people believe pelvic work is only for women, but that is outdated thinking. For men, pelvic diaphragm breathing enhances nitric oxide levels, stimulates parasympathetic nerve activity, and improves pressure regulation in the pelvic region. Nitric oxide is the molecule responsible for widening blood vessels, helping erections occur naturally and consistently. When your breathing is shallow or your pelvic floor is tight, nitric oxide release decreases. But with deep breathing and rhythmic pelvic engagement, circulation improves and nitric oxide levels rise. This directly influences how strong your morning power feels and how quickly your body wakes up, sexually and physically. Another benefit of this breathing routine is the reduction of internal stress. Overnight, your body resets, but your mind may still carry emotional or physical tension that translates into pelvic tightness. This tension blocks nerve signals and prevents your body from functioning at its best. Deep pelvic diaphragm breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore mode of the body. This mode increases blood flow to essential organs, improves oxygen delivery, and relaxes smooth muscles around the bladder and pelvic vessels. Within just 2 minutes, you create an environment inside your body that supports stronger, healthier morning responses. Performing this breathing before breakfast ensures your pelvis receives fresh oxygen, your circulation stabilizes, and your nerves function more efficiently. It prepares your body to handle the day with more control, more strength, and more balance. This simple, quiet practice can turn into one of the most powerful habits you ever adopt for your health. When we talk about restoring morning power, one of the key elements in your body's natural sexual and circulatory performance is nitric oxide, a tiny molecule with massive influence. Nitric oxide is responsible for relaxing blood vessels, improving blood flow, enhancing nerve responsiveness, and helping tissues in the pelvic region receive the oxygen and nutrients they need. Without healthy nitric oxide production, even the strongest muscles and nerves can't perform at their peak. This is why activating your body's natural nitric oxide pathway before breakfast is one of the smartest ways to support morning vitality. And the simple routine you do in the morning, hydration combined with pelvic diaphragm activation, plays a big role in kickstarting nitric oxide release. During the night, Nitric oxide levels drop because your body is resting and your metabolic activity is at its lowest. When morning arrives, your system needs a signal to wake up the blood vessels and increase circulation. Deep breathing stimulates nitric oxide production in the nasal passages and lungs, while warm hydration increases blood volume and helps your vessels respond more efficiently. Together, these actions create a powerful environment for nitric oxide synthesis. When your body has enough nitric oxide, the blood vessels in the pelvic region soften and widen, allowing more blood to flow into the tissues responsible for morning strength. This is one of the main reasons people begin to see improvements in their morning power after consistently practicing this routine. Another thing many people don't realize is that nitric oxide decreases with age, stress, poor sleep, and unhealthy lifestyle habits. After age 30, the body naturally produces less of it each year, which is why men start to experience weaker morning erections, reduced stamina, and slower responsiveness. But the decline is not permanent. Your body can rebuild and increase nitric oxide production when you give it the right triggers. Deep breathing is one such trigger. As you inhale slowly and allow your diaphragm to drop, the air passing through your nasal passages stimulates nitric oxide release. As you exhale and gently engage the pelvic floor, the improved circulation helps distribute nitric oxide throughout the entire lower body. This rhythmic exchange primes the pelvic nerves and blood vessels, making them more responsive. Warm hydration also plays a crucial role. When your blood becomes more fluid and less dense, nitric oxide can travel more freely through your bloodstream. Thick, dehydrated blood restricts nitric oxide flow, making it harder for blood vessels to expand. But when you drink warm water first thing in the morning, your circulatory system becomes more flexible, allowing nitric oxide to reach the tissues where it's needed most. This is essential for creating the full morning effect men often complain about losing as they age. The combination of breathing and hydration is powerful because it creates a natural internal environment that supports stronger, more reliable circulation. By prioritizing nitric oxide production in the morning, you give your body the tools it needs to awaken the reproductive and vascular systems. This not only boosts morning power, but also supports long-term pelvic health, improves energy levels, and stabilizes overall hormonal balance. Supporting kidney filtration in the morning may not sound directly connected to sexual performance or morning power, but the truth is that your kidneys quietly control far more of your daily energy, hormonal balance, and circulatory strength than most people ever realize. These two small organs act like your body's natural filters, removing waste, controlling electrolytes, regulating fluids, and maintaining the delicate balance that your nerves and blood vessels rely on. When kidney function is sluggish, as it often is right after waking up, your entire system feels slower, heavier, and less responsive. This is why hydration before breakfast is such an essential part of restoring morning vitality. It gives your kidneys the immediate support they need to start filtering properly, setting the tone for better energy, better blood flow, and better pelvic function throughout the day. During sleep, your kidneys work at a slower pace because your heart rate, blood pressure, and metabolism all drop to nighttime levels. This means waste products that accumulate overnight need to be flushed out efficiently in the morning. If you skip hydration or delay it, your kidneys continue operating in a semi-dehydrated state, forcing your body to hold on to waste and altering your electrolyte balance. This imbalance affects nerve conduction, muscle responsiveness, and blood pressure, all critical factors for sexual function and morning strength. The pelvic nerves, in particular, are extremely sensitive to hydration levels. When the body is dehydrated, these nerves fire more slowly and muscles grow stiff, reducing the responsiveness that contributes to natural morning erections and energy. Drinking warm water first thing in the morning sends a strong signal to your kidneys that it's time to wake up fully. Warm water enters the digestive system and bloodstream faster than cold water, allowing the kidneys to start filtering sooner. This early boost to kidney function supports hormonal regulation as well, because your kidneys help balance minerals and electrolytes that influence testosterone production, cortisol levels, and blood circulation. Even mild dehydration can cause cortisol to rise, which directly interferes with sexual performance, erection quality, and morning energy. So by hydrating quickly and properly, you are actually preventing hormonal fluctuations that could weaken your morning power. Many men don't realize that the kidneys also regulate blood pressure through a complex system known as the renin-angiotensin mechanism. When the kidneys sense dehydration or low blood volume, they constrict blood vessels to preserve fluid. This constriction reduces blood flow to peripheral areas, including the pelvic region. Over time, This can create chronic tension in the blood vessels that supply the tissues responsible for morning erections. But when you drink warm water right after waking up, your kidneys sense the increased fluid volume and relax those vessels, allowing smoother, stronger blood flow. This is why proper kidney support often leads to noticeable improvements in both circulation and pelvic responsiveness. A well-hydrated kidney system also reduces inflammation by helping the body flush out metabolic waste before it builds up. Inflammation in the pelvic area can weaken erectile function, slow nerve signaling, and reduce stamina. Giving your kidneys a clean, hydrated start each morning helps prevent that buildup and supports cleaner, healthier blood reaching the pelvis. Over time, this leads to more consistent morning strength, better energy levels, and an overall feeling of vitality. Reducing inflammation in the body is one of the most important steps you can take to restore your morning power. Yet it's something most people never think about. Inflammation doesn't always show up as pain or swelling. Often it hides quietly in the tissues, blood vessels, and nerves, especially in the pelvic region. This hidden inflammation can slow down circulation, weaken nerve sensitivity, reduce nitric oxide production, and interfere with the natural biological rhythms that create strong morning responses. When your body is inflamed even slightly, it becomes harder for blood to flow efficiently and for nerves to communicate properly. This is why the morning routine of hydration and pelvic diaphragm activation works so effectively. It directly targets and reduces the inflammation that may be weakening your morning vitality. Overnight, your body undergoes repair processes, but it also accumulates metabolic waste and inflammatory molecules. If these are not cleared out in the morning, they continue circulating through your bloodstream, affecting areas that require high oxygen and blood flow, like the pelvic organs. Warm hydration is powerful because it helps thin the blood, increase circulation, and flush out these inflammatory byproducts before they have a chance to interfere with your energy and sexual function. When warm water enters the body, it dilates blood vessels, improves flow, and helps the kidneys remove toxins faster. This immediate flushing effect lowers inflammation and helps your tissues wake up feeling lighter and more responsive. The pelvic tissues, in particular, are extremely sensitive to inflammatory changes. When inflammation is present, the blood vessels become stiff, the nerves become irritated, and the muscles respond more slowly. This creates a cycle where the tissues cannot expand properly, making morning erections weaker or inconsistent. However, when you hydrate deeply, those tissues soften, blood flow improves, and inflammation begins to dissolve. This is why so many people notice a difference within just a few days of starting this routine. The breathing component of your morning routine also plays a major role in reducing inflammation. Deep, controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps calm the body and reduce stress-related inflammation. When stress hormones are elevated, especially cortisol, they create internal inflammation that disrupts hormonal balance and weakens pelvic function. Deep breathing lowers cortisol levels, increases oxygen delivery, and relaxes the pelvic floor muscles. This relaxation is important because tight pelvic muscles trap inflammatory molecules and restrict circulation. With slow breathing, the pelvic floor relaxes, allowing fresh, oxygenated blood to flow in and push out stagnation. Another important connection between inflammation and morning power is nitric oxide. Inflammation reduces the body's ability to produce nitric oxide, which is essential for expanding blood vessels and supporting strong erections. When inflammation goes down, nitric oxide production increases naturally. The warm hydration and breathing routine directly supports this process by opening the nasal passages, improving oxygen intake, and boosting circulation, all of which help nitric oxide thrive. Over time, consistently reducing inflammation each morning leads to stronger, more reliable pelvic function. The tissues become healthier, the nerves fire more efficiently, and the blood vessels respond more quickly. Your body begins to regain the natural strength and vitality that may have faded with age, stress, or lifestyle habits. This simple morning reset becomes a powerful tool for restoring confidence, energy, and morning power in the most natural way possible. Consistency is the real secret behind restoring your morning power, and it's the one element people often overlook. You can drink warm water one day, practice deep breathing the next, and maybe skip everything for a week, but your body won't respond the way you want unless you create a predictable rhythm. Your pelvic floor, your blood vessels, your nerves, and even your hormonal system rely heavily on repetition. The body thrives on routines, especially in the early morning when your internal clock is most sensitive to cues. When you give your body the same supportive habits each day, it starts to adapt, strengthen, and improve naturally. But when the routine is inconsistent, Your system becomes confused, slowing progress and weakening results. Think of your morning power not as a switch that you turn on instantly, but as a muscle-like response that grows stronger with daily practice. Each time you hydrate with warm water, your blood becomes more fluid, your kidneys filter better, and your tissues become more flexible. Each time you perform pelvic diaphragm breathing, your nerves communicate more efficiently, your muscles regain tone, and your blood vessels release more nitric oxide. This is how change occurs, not through one powerful action, but through small, repeated signals that tell your body, this is how we begin the day now. Many men struggle with morning strength because they rely on quick fixes instead of building steady habits. They want instant results from supplements or medications, but ignore the daily routines that support natural sexual performance. Your body is designed to regenerate, but it needs consistency to do so. When you repeat the same morning practice for several days, your pelvic tissues begin healing. After a few weeks, blood flow improves. After a few months, your hormonal balance shifts, your pelvic nerves become sharper, and your morning power becomes more reliable. This progression only happens because the body learns to trust the routine. Another important benefit of consistency is that it reduces internal stress. When you begin each day with a predictable, calming routine, your body enters a relaxed parasympathetic state, lowering cortisol and reducing inflammation. High cortisol is one of the hidden enemies of morning vitality. It constricts blood vessels, affects testosterone production, increases tension in the pelvic floor, and disrupts sleep quality. But when your mornings follow a stable pattern of hydration and breathing, cortisol naturally drops, creating the ideal environment for physical and sexual energy to rise. Consistency also helps reset circadian rhythms. Your body loves patterns. When hydration and pelvic activation happen every morning, your brain learns to prepare for better circulation at the same time each day. This strengthens your natural biological expectations, improving both morning erections and daytime energy. Even your digestion and metabolism improve, which indirectly supports hormonal and sexual health. The beauty of this routine is that it doesn't require intense effort. It doesn't demand hours of exercise or complicated techniques. It simply asks you to show up every morning for a few minutes, giving your body the space and support it needs to wake up fully. Over time, these minutes accumulate into something powerful. Your tissues regenerate, your nerves sharpen, your blood vessels become more responsive, and your confidence returns. The consistency builds a foundation for long-term vitality, not just a temporary change, but a lasting improvement that continues as long as you maintain the routine. And that's the beauty of this simple morning routine. You're not relying on shortcuts, pills, or temporary fixes. You're waking up your body the way it was designed to function through hydration, oxygen, circulation, nerve activation, and consistency. When you give your system these small but powerful signals each morning, it begins to respond in ways you can feel stronger energy, clearer focus, smoother blood flow, and a return of that natural morning power you thought you had lost. Remember, your body is incredibly intelligent. It wants balance, it wants health, and it wants to perform well. It just needs the right environment. With warm hydration, pelvic diaphragm breathing, improved nitric oxide support, reduced inflammation, and steady daily consistency, you are building that environment from the inside out. Nothing here is extreme. Nothing here is unnatural. These are simple, science-backed habits that help your body rediscover its own strength. Give yourself the gift of a strong start every single morning. Don't rush. Don't skip. Don't underestimate these first few minutes of the day, because the choices you make before breakfast can set the tone for your energy, your health, your confidence, and your morning vitality for the rest of your life. Commit to this routine, stay patient, stay consistent, and watch how your mornings begin to transform. Your power is not gone, it's simply waiting to be reactivated, and you now have the tools to bring it back.